what is actually going on with people in the Pokemon space right now. Because honestly, the morals lately have been extremely questionable. Let's get into it. Hi, if this is your first time here, my name is John. I am starting a Pokemon card business completely from the ground zero with zero experience, zero investors, and zero distribution, and I'm documenting every step of this journey. So today we've got a little bit of a different topic I wanted to get into. Originally I was actually planning on, my wife bought me a booster box of Phantasmal Flames, and I was planning on talking about that today. I sat down with the kids last night, we got to draw cards, and it was just a fun time. And then I woke up this morning and I looked at my feed in YouTube, and I seen yet again another fight breaking out, another person getting robbed. And honestly, this one actually kind of bothered me a little bit deeper, because someone actually had the audacity to go into someone's house. And that was a line that I really cannot believe got crossed over Pokemon cards. And it had me thinking, it's like, we've seen a huge boom in this hobby. You've got more collectors than ever before. You got more investors, you got more money and growth. And sometimes growth is good, but with growth, we're also seeing something else. We're seeing a lot more scams, a lot more thefts. Some of the deals that I've seen just watching reels and all that, watching stuff on YouTube, there's countless videos out there. I don't have to beat this dead horse of somebody robbed the store, somebody done this, or someone did a chargeback on a credit card. And man, and now somebody's being home invaded. This is not hype culture. This is something completely different. That's not passion for the hobby. This is just, honestly, let's make it simple. This is plain greed. And here's the real issue. When money became the motivation, morals became optional. And that is just damaging to this community. It's damaging to people. Because here's what's happened. Pokemon is finally catching up in the same sense that sneakers, a lot of several other businesses have got into. And the basic market cycle is broken down into 5 categories. Number 1, you have the hobby phase. That's where the passion comes in. That's where the love for what you're collecting, and the enjoyment, the excitement. And then when you go through the hobby phase, you go into what's called a growth phase. And that's where new attention comes into play. You'll see this off and on in any collectible thing, any collectible genre at all. And this is people that, okay, they see a little bit of value in it. A lot of people are sharing it. A lot of people's talking about it. You, like myself, have probably seen 1,000 different reels on people introducing my friend to the hobby. And these are good things. Growth is good. Because it means we've got sustainability inside the hobby. And then you get to number 3, and this one's the scary one, and that's the gold rush phase. And that's the profit phase, and that's where a lot of people is just trying to make the quick buck. That's where you see a lot of your flippers come in. That's where you see a lot of questionable morals come into play. And then that's typically followed by the saturation phase. And that's where competition gets extremely high. You'll see pop-up stores everywhere. You'll see all this new stuff just all of a sudden starting to come up. Before we finally get to phase 5, which is the stabilization phase. And that's where the market usually does a self-correction and it lines everything out. Now, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we're ever getting back to a world where MSRP for a booster box is a thing, but what I am saying, eventually this does stabilize. But the problem is we're stuck. We're stuck at phase 3 and 4. We're right in the middle of it. And what happens when you're in that? For starters, it feels messy. It's very chaotic. Number one, you start to see price hikes. And go on TCG Player, go on eBay. I mean, you're seeing ETBs for $140 now, and people's paying it. The second thing you'll see more of is scalping, which I don't have to tell anybody that that is a real problem in this industry. I mean, I watched a video earlier where literally these guys were pushing kids out of the way and just grabbing the whole carton of cards to turn around and try to flip it for 2 times as much. I'm all for people making money, but there's got to be a certain line here that there's certain things you just can't cross. And not over this, because I was reading an article recently, and a guy in California was stabbed in line at Best Buy over an altercation waiting for Pokemon cards. I mean, I love this hobby. This hobby has been a passion of mine since I was a little boy. But it's not worth someone's life. It's not worth someone actually committing these heinous crimes. But that leads into the third thing, hype market. But let's face it, this isn't nothing new. You get on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, there is so much hype around Pokemon right now. I mean, look at the commercials. And then what happens? We see the fourth thing that typically happens when you're stuck between the gold rush and the saturation phase. You'll start to see artificial scarcity. And we're seeing that right now with Ascended Heroes. They're going to print it. They're going to print more. This set is brand new. Now, if we were talking about something from the Scarlet era, okay, they're probably not going to make too much more of that. And definitely if we get into the XY, or let's just go all the way back base sets, you're not going to see that stuff remade that I know of. And then number 5, you see a lot more drama content. Hot take after hot take. That's because it fuels into this. It's fueling into this narrative. And then you start to see FOMO tactics. And FOMO in this industry is a really big problem. I've trained salespeople my entire career. And never once did I spend time actually teaching people a closing technique of the fear of missing out. Why? Because that is something that it goes back to the stereotypical car salesman. If you're a car salesperson, I really don't have any problem with you. This is just, let's get the stereotype. And what it was is you see the guy with the cigar, the plaid suit. It's like, well, if you don't buy it today, it might not be here tomorrow. And it's a high pressure sales technique to get someone to buy on emotions. I never would teach people or focus that on any of my trainings because that is just one of the scummiest ways to sell anything, in my opinion. And honestly, I just can't help but wonder, why is that the most prevalent thing inside of this Pokemon business? I see FOMO everywhere I look, from not just sellers online, but I have people messaging me on Instagram. Because by the way, if you start a business on Instagram, your first, I'm guessing, 100 followers are other businesses trying to sell you things. Because that's about all I'm seeing. And inside of this, we're talking about all these different things, all these different services that they can offer to me, but every one of them uses the exact same clothes. Well, it's if I tell them I'm not ready or we're just starting, we're just getting our foot on the ground, we're not really interested. So the next sentence that they typically say is, well, you might lose your spot. Or, hey, if you don't do it right now, you may not get the chance to do it. And then I see that even transfer over to the distributors. Because the distributors, man, they lock and hold a lot of these businesses more than you would think. I've had the privilege to talk to a couple shop owners. I'm trying to do some research on how to actually build this thing effectively. And your distributors are telling their customers, hey, I need you to buy all this pointless stuff that nobody's going to want, or you're going to miss out when something good drops. Like, realistically, put that into perspective as a consumer. I'll break this down even simpler. Buy the shit that no one cares about, or I'm not going to sell you anything good. And that just blows my mind. Because I may not have had a lot of dealings with distribution inside the Pokemon world, but inside of my professional career, I've dealt with distributors almost on a daily basis, and where they were, as a business entity or as a business owner or a representative of a company, you're their customer. And if distribution is treating customers that way, why is it a surprise that businesses are treating your everyday consumers the same way? I just can't help but think there's got to be a much better way to do business than the way this is coming out. Because realistically, this hobby is supposed to be built on 3 things. It's very simple: trust, passion, and community. When those disappear, the hobby stops being fun and starts to become dangerous. I mean, I know every single one of y'all have seen all these YouTubes or videos and reels about people's hiding their collections, trying to disperse or try to mask where things are because they are legitimately scared. And that's not healthy, and that's not good for anybody, and it's definitely not good for the community. And honestly, let's just call it out the way it is. If you're in this space to just flip, manipulate prices, and scam buyers or prey on new collectors, you're not part of the community at all. You're what is poisoning it. Because real collectors protect this hobby. Real sellers build trust. Real community members look out for one another. That's why I loved this hobby above all else. It's because it was a real community. It was real people that loved the hobby and loved to share it. That's why, like you see and I worry about the future of the hobby without kids getting as involved as they were, because they're going to miss out on all that nostalgia. They're going to miss out on all that excitement that brought us into this as a kid. I know this isn't one of my typical videos, but I just felt so strongly to talk about this today. But I'll stop going on, beating a dead horse. If you love this hobby though, act like it. Because if we don't protect it and actually protect the culture, nobody's going to. Do you think Pokemon cares that their boxes are selling for $500? Do you think they care that the hype is this big? No, because now guess what? They're a business. More product means more money. But comment below. Am I the only one that feels like this hobby's got worse lately? I just want to make sure honestly, I'm not crazy and I'm seeing something that's not reality. But that's it for this video. If you like this kind of content and you like seeing an authentic person that's trying to build a actual trustworthy business, please consider liking and subscribing. That not only helps me with the algorithm, but it also lets me know, hey, you're doing the right thing. But until next time, goodbye.